Andrew Gilding was born in Suffolk in 1970 and began playing in some WDF and BDO darts in the late 2000s. He reached the final of the 2010 WDF British Open, beating Scott Waites on the way. In the final, he lost 3-0 to Ted Hankey. He qualified for the 2011 UK Open at the Riley's Norwich qualifier, where he dropped just 2 legs in his final 3 games. In the final of this qualifier, he whitewashed Robert Turner. He went on a good run at the UK Open, whitewashing Brendan Dolan 4-0 in the first round before beating Matt Clark 4-2 and former world finalist Andy Hamilton 9-6 to get through to the last 32, where he lost 9-2 to Mark Hilton. Later on in that year, he won 5 games to reach the last 16 of the prestigious BDO World Masters. His win over now World Seniors player Richie Howson and defeat to Gary Robson were both shown on TV, making this his first full appearances on TV. He attended PDC Q-School at the start of 2012 in an attempt to gain a PDC tour card. He lost 6-4 to Steve Hardy in the first round on the first day. On the following day, he won 5 games, dropping just 5 legs, setting up a shootout for a tour card with Kurt van der Reyk, which he lost in a sudden death leg. On the following day, he got back to the quarter-finals, which is where the automatic tour card winners were decided, but this time he won his game, beating John Scott 6-3 to get a 2-year PDC tour card. Gilding said at the time that he felt big pressure on the third day after coming so close the day before, but that towards the end of the day he was able to relax. He said that he had a good time as an amateur for a year and a half, but there was time for him to make an impression as a professional. At the 7th UK Open qualifying event of 2012, Gilding won 5 games, beating Simon Whitlock in the last 16 to get to the quarter-final, where he lost to former world finalist Kevin Painter. After this, he failed to make it past the last 16 of any other event that year and lost in his opening UK Open game 4-0 to Devon Peterson. He headed into 2013 with a world ranking of 73. He failed to qualify for the UK Open in 2013, but he made his first PDC semi-final at a Players' Championship event, beating Dave Chisnell in a deciding leg on the way. However, he lost to 3-time world champion Raymond van Barneveld 6-2 in the semis. This was an anomaly of a result in his year, and he lost his tour card at the end of the season, ranked just 78th in the world. He then went to Q-School to try and regain his tour card, which he managed to do on the opening day, where he won 6 straight games and whitewashed Jamie Bain in the deciding game. Gilding said that he was chuffed to win back his card after starting slowly in the first few games. Gilding said that it was a different experience to his last Q-School outing, as he knew many of the other players and had more experience. He said that he wanted to get more stage experience over the coming few years. In the second UK Open qualifier of 2014, Gilding went on a stunning run to his first PDC final. He beat world champions Raymond van Barneveld, Phil Taylor and Jelle Klaasen on the way, as well as major winners James Wade and Daryl Gurney. In the final, he lost in a deciding leg to former world champion Stephen Bunting. This run earned Gilding £5,000 and saw him qualify for the UK Open. In the UK Open, he entered in the 3rd round, but received a bye to the 4th round after Wes Newton withdrew. In the last 32, he lost 9-4 to Kevin Painter. At the following event, which was a Players' Championship, Gilding got to his second PDC final, beating players such as Michael Smith and James Wade on the way, before losing the final in a deciding leg to 2-time world champion Gary Anderson. Gilding averaged 107 in this final, whilst Anderson averaged a stunning 111. Made his World Match Play debut in this year, but was whitewashed 10-0 by Adrian Lewis, who averaged 110 in the first round. He won his debut game at the World Grand Prix, but was then beaten by 16-time champion of the world Phil Taylor. He lost on his Players' Championship Finals debut, but had done enough over this year to qualify for the 2015 World Championship, where he won just 2 legs in his 3-0 defeat to Robert Thornton in the first round. At the 4th UK Open qualifier of 2015, he got to the semi-final, beating Adrian Lewis and Raymond van Barneveld on the way. In his win over Lewis, he averaged 114. He lost 6-2 to Michael van Gerwen in the semis. This run helped him to qualify for the UK Open, where he performed very well. He whitewashed Kevin Painter in the last 64 before beating Jelle Klaasen and James Wade in deciding legs. In his quarter-final, he beat Menta Sulovic 10-8 with an average of 99. He faced Van Gerwen in his first major semi-final, but he lost 10-8 despite averaging 108, nearly 3 points more than MVG. He won his first round game at the World Match Play that year, beating Mervyn King 10-8. At the 2016 World Championship, he beat Gerwyn Price 3-0 in the first round before being whitewashed himself by Adrian Lewis 4-0 in the next round. In the rest of 2016, he reached a semi-final in a Players' Championship event. However, he lost to Ryan de Vrede in a deciding leg at the UK Open and failed to qualify for the World Match Play or Grand Prix. He beat John Henderson in a deciding leg in the first round of the 2017 World Championship before losing 4-0 to Gary Anderson. He won his first game at the 2017 UK Open but was beaten by Ted Everts in the next round. He didn't qualify for the 2018 World Championships and began to fall down the rankings as a result. He was whitewashed by Gabriel Clemens in the first round at the 2018 UK Open. In that November, he won 4 games at the Grand Slam qualifier to secure his debut at the event, where he was eliminated in the group stage, finishing bottom. He lost to Clemens again in the first round at the Players' Championship finals. He was outside of the top 64 at the end of this season, meaning that he lost his tour card. He failed to regain it at Q-School in 2019, but played in many Pro Tour events that year as a reserve from the Challenge Tour. He tried Q-School again in 2020, but was unsuccessful for the second year running. He finished second on the UK Q-School Order of Merit in 2021, meaning that he regained his tour card. He won his first round game at the 2021 UK Open, but then lost to Scott Mitchell. The UK Open was his only major appearance in 2021, but he had a far better 2022 season. After losing in a deciding leg in his first game at the UK Open, he reached the final of the 9th Players' Championship event of 2022, where he lost 8-6 to Danny Jansen. He got to his first Euro Tour semi-final at the Dutch Darts Championship, where he lost to Michael Smith. He reached another Players' Championship final, where he lost 8-6 to Danny Noppert, before reaching his first Euro Tour final at the next Euro Tour event which he qualified for, which was the Belgian Darts Open, where he lost 8-6 to Dave Chisnell in the final. During this year, he returned to the World Match Play and Grand Prix, as well as making his European Championship debut. He also made his Ali Pali return at the 2023 World Championship, beating Robert Owen 3-2 in the first round before losing 3-1 to Dave Chisnell in the next game. He got to the quarter-final of the 3rd Players' Championship event of 2023, where he lost in a deciding leg to Gerwyn Price. Then came his 10th UK Open appearance. He beat Darren Webster 6-2 in his first game, before winning 10-5 in back-to-back rounds against Ricky Evans and Luke Woodhouse. He beat Brendan Dolan 10-8 in the 6th round to reach the final day, where he beat Martin Schindler 10-4 in the quarters. In the semis, he beat Adam Gaulas 11-6 to reach his first major final, where he faced the heavy 8-1 favourite Michael van Gerwen. Gilding became the oldest first-time PDC major finalist. The game went to a deciding leg at 10-all. Gilding had 76 left for the match and disappointingly didn't get a shot at a double from this, giving MVG a shot at 102 for the title. Van Gerwen missed a match start at double 16, giving Gilding 3 darts at tops. He only needed 1 dart to secure his first major, which was also his first PDC ranking title. Gilding won £110,000, putting him up to 25th in the world, a 16th place improvement on his position from before the event. Gilding was a big outsider for the title ahead of the weekend, with title odds of 200 to 1. He has also secured his spot in the Grand Slam for later in the year.